Hello there, everyone. This is your old friend Comet Urban once again, and I've got another book review for you. You guys are probably thinking, why with all the book reviews? I like to read. So yeah, get over it. Just kidding, guys. I would never say that. But I do like to read. And the book I'm going to review today is actually a book about something kind of special to me, because this is something that's a little known fact about Indiana. We had our own railroad. I mean, we still do have our own railroad, the Indiana Railroad, but we actually had another railroad before that. And I'm going to be taking you down memory lane as we go up and down the Monon. Yes, I'm reviewing the book Monon, the Hoosier Line, the second revised edition by Gary W. Dolzall and his brother Stephen F. Dolzall. Now, what is this book about? Well, it is the history of the Chicago, Indianapolis, and Louisville Railroad. And this is an updated edition of the book, because the second revised edition, that is got an afterword by Frank Van Bree, the president of the Monon Railroad Historical Technical Society, and this was published by the Indiana University Press. The first edition was published by Interurban Press in 1987, and this version is from 2002, I believe. It says here 2002, Gary W. Dolzall, Stephen F. Dolzall. So what is it? Well, it's basically a very detailed history about the Monon Railroad, and there's like maybe not even half a dozen books about the subject of this railroad, and this one here is the best one. And it tells from the very earliest time, and memories of the Monon, like the two brothers, memories of being, seeing the trains and riding the thoroughbred, and there's really a lot of wonderful photographs in here of the Monon Railroad back in its day, from the passenger F3 units to the gold and black RS3s and F units, and the big C628s and C420s, and just a very, very wondrous book. But it talks about the origins of James Brooks and his New Albany and Salem Railroad, and how he developed, the railroad, and talk about, there's a lot of landmarks like this. That's the Gosport Depot. I know exactly where that depot sat. I have one of the original bricks from the depot that I picked up down there by the river. I have it somewhere in my closet. I had a friend of mine engrave on it. He engraved the Monon logo and engraved an engine and stuff on it. Really cool. And then when the railroad became the Louisville, New Albany, and Chicago, and you can see some of the tonnage there from when it was the Louisville, New Albany, and Chicago. And there's just a lot of amazing stuff in here. And finally, when it became known as the Chicago, Indianapolis, and Louisville Railway, or when it was known as the Monon Route, that's when it first became with the name Monon, because there was a city in Indiana called Monon that it ran through. And it just talks about all the development of the railroads, and this is just an amazing, like chapter 3, from glory to bankruptcy to rebirth. This is talking about, the reorganization of the railroad and stuff, and see, like, there's a lot of amazing steam locomotives too, like these massive 210-2s and 282s, and there were Pacifics as well, 462s. There's a 462 pulling Says nameless train number 6. And there's a derailment of a freight train on the 9th of April 1924. Wabash River Bridge north of Lafayette. You know, it just goes. And of course the Barringer years. John Walker Barringer III, he was the president of the Monon from May of 1946 to December of 1952. And he literally was the man who brought diesels to the Monon. And the Monon was the first railroad to be completely dieselized. The first railroad in America. Very little known fact. And this shows the pictures of the transition from the mighty steam to the first generation diesels, also known as the covered wagons. And here's one of my favorite diesels, or one of them is the BL2s. I think them things are so neat looking. And it says here, uncommon along diesels was the electromotive BL2, BL standing for branch line. The unit was a transitional design from the fully streamlined F units that dominated in the 1940s toward the multi-purpose directional road switchers in the 1950s. Monon's number 30, delivered in April 1948, was the first BL2 ever built, and the only Monon engine actually left in existence is BL2 number 32, which is at the Kentucky Railroad Museum in Louisville, Kentucky. And of course they talk about the Ash Grove incident in June 3rd of 47 when two freight trains collided into each other, resulting in the deaths of 3 trainmen. The coming of the red and gray. That would be the beautiful streamlining F3s in their cream and crimson colors. To me, the Monon passenger colors, the color schemes given to the Monon diesel, both the passenger and the freight service, and the Santa Fe war bonded paint schemes, were the most beautiful paint schemes ever put onto a diesel engine. I'm not a big fan of diesels, but one thing I do like about them is the fact you can paint them up and make them pretty. You can make a steam engine pretty, but because they're dirty, they get dirty over time. Let's see, like right here, there's an original, what is that called? Timetable. I actually would like to find some Monon stuff and see. I mean, this is just, like I said, a beautiful book. There's so much history in these pages. I mean, they're just tranquil times, troubled times, talking about how, see, it's just, the mystery at Monon, when several trains collided and they went off the tracks. That was another really bad incident. I mean, there's just so much stuff in this book. I mean, the new Monon, the last Monon, this was the very, when they were transitioning from all the early diesels to the big Alcos, and later they got rid of the big Alcos, and they got smaller Alcos, the C420s, and then when Alco went out of business of building engines, they bought U-boats from General Electric. They bought U-23Bs because they were similar in power to the Alco C420s. And there's a chapter here about the Monon shops in Lafayette, which that's how Purdue got their nickname of the Boilermakers, if you didn't know that, because Purdue University was in Lafayette, and at the time the Monon Railroad repaired their own locomotives. So during the steam era, there was, the Boilermakers, boiler repairmen. So the name Boilermakers and their mascot being a train and also a man with a sledgehammer, that was appropriate because of the Monon shops. So that was appropriate. So that's where that came from. That's a little a little unknown fact, and this is talking about Monon passenger trains, you know, from the steam era through the diesel era. Like I said, my favorite ones were the streamlined F units. They were painted red and gray. I love the gold and black units too, but I like the red and gray ones better. So, railroad tonnage on the Hoosier Line. This is talking about. This is just a pictorial section of freight. See, and like I said, this is a very beautiful book. It's been revised. It's been updated, you know, for the modern age. And this one here is the epilogue, you know, the Monon after the 31st of July, 1971, because they merged with the Louisville, Nashville, and it just became the Monon section of the L&N. So, and then you see other tonnage and stuff running on the line. And there's BL2 number 32, you know, running an excursion train. You see all these trains and stuff, and there's part of the old Monon line at Chicago-Louisville main line that is in Monon County. I've actually stood on those tracks. I have stood where the old tracks were at. There's your acknowledgement section. There is your afterward. And here's your rosters. This is a cool thing. They tell you all the steam locomotives they owned and all the diesel engines that they owned. And also all their passenger equipment that they had. And there's even diagrams of passenger cars. And one of my favorite parts of this book is the color section. You see all the photos of this great, amazing Midwestern Railroad in color. You can really see what I mean by the colors. They're amazing. Like, I just love this book. I absolutely love it. I love that picture there. That's in Gosport. I know exactly where that was at. And of course, there's the end. And there's the back of the book. So, my thoughts on the book. I really loved it. It was great. It was a great book. I give it 5 stars. You know, if you love railroading and you love history and you actually like to learn more about Indiana history, read this book. You'll learn a lot about our railroad. And before I end the video, I think it would be appropriate for me to sing the anthem of the Monon, which is Up and Down the Monon. Kansas and Missouri way, they brag about the Santa Fe, the New York Central B&O. Those are the lines from Ohio. Kentucky's got the L&N, the Pennsylvania's got the Penn, and Michigan has Pierre Marquette. But there's a grander railroad, yeah. Oh, up and down the Monon, everything is fine, 'cause that rootin' tootin' Monon, she's a Hoosier Line. Oh, up and down the Monon, everything is fine, 'cause that rootin' tootin' Monon, she's a Hoosier Line. All aboard, all aboard, it's my Indiana home that I am heading for. Oh, up and down the Monon, everything is fine, for that rootin' tootin' Monon, she's a Hoosier Line. Well, I hope you went through my horrible singing. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think. And until next time, this is Commodore Urban saying, let the track be clear ahead for you and full speed ahead. And God bless you. You take care now, alrighty? Good day. Oh, sorry. Did I talk?